Now then, Tigers, how we doing? I hope we're doing well. 40 games have been played in the Championship and only 6 remain as we try and maintain our position in the top 6. And our first game of the last 6 is none other than the league leaders Coventry City, who we do host on Easter Monday. Our most toughest test yet as we go towards the end of the season. We are facing a team who are basically guaranteed promotion to the Premier League with the current form that they're in and the points gap they have over second place. It's just utterly ridiculous. The scary thing about Coventry is that since February, they've played 10 games, they've won 8, drawn 1 and lost 1. Just slightly worried. That only loss from the last 10 matches was against Southampton, where they did lose 2-1 at home, which was only, well, just less than a month ago. And some of the victories have been rather close. They've only been, I guess, by 1 goal. I mean, you've got the 2-1 win against Sheffield United, the 2-1 win against Stoke. You've also got the 3-2 win recently against Derby County. And they have had some comfortable wins over the likes of Swansea, Preston, Bristol. The Middlesbrough game, I think, was an interesting watch, to be fair, but I think, let's be real, that was quite a comfortable win for them. And yet, comparing that to our last match, where we did play Oxford United, as you'll already know, drew 1-1, wasn't a great performance, and an improvement is really needed. And it has to happen when we play, basically, the champions of the Championship. I think overall, the quality of the performance is what really needs to improve, essentially, because defensively, we need to be more solid. Midfield, we need a midfield, basically, because Lundstrom just sort of hangs too far back, where he's basically a defender, and Tree, when he does go up the pitch, is just too slow to come back, and from that point, we just don't have a midfield. So we need a midfield, and yeah, we just need to be better clinically when we're on the attack, especially with the opportunities we did create against Oxford. Mainly the chance that Carl Joseph had. If you just, as I said before, if you just took a touch and then shot, I think we might have scored. With Cov being 9 points ahead of second place and 6 games to go, it's not the end of the world that they do drop points in this match. Maybe you could say the same for us in this match, mainly due to the fact that the day after Hull play Coventry, Southampton and Wrexham go head to head. And I'll be honest, I really don't know what kind of result I want from that game. Really, a draw would be good, but then would you prefer Southampton to win or would you prefer Wrexham to win? Now, the last time we did play Coventry City, it was at the start of the season where we did draw 0-0. And to be fair, that is a point you would happily take when you're playing away to Coventry, because again, how they've been this season, arguably, they've been rather dominant. They've been in first place for such a long time, really getting something from their ground. It's a win-win, I feel. I know they were picking up a lot of good chances in that match. I think Pandor was doing really well to keep plenty of the shots out. I think the defence did a great job, in all fairness, as well. I can't really remember what sort of chances we did have against Coventry on the attack. I think it was just more kind of worried that we would concede to them. But let's be real, after getting that point against Coventry, I don't think anyone would have thought we'd be in this position right now, in 5th place. Let's hope it can stay that way. Now, the lineup for this upcoming match is going to be interesting because from the previous game against Oxford, there were 5 changes where Phillips was in instead of Pandor. You had, obviously, Hughes instead of Egan. You had Lundstrom instead of Slater, or I guess Amir, however you think of it. Mo Bloomy was in the squad in the starting lineup, and so was Louis Coyle. I don't know if there's going to be that many changes to this particular game. I know there really shouldn't be, but with us just playing basically 2 days ago, it's one of them. Do you maybe refresh the team a bit, put on some players who are going to be a bit more fitter than others due to the effects of the last match? I don't know. In terms of the formation, I think we're going to play, usually when we play a tough Championship team, we play a 5 at the back. That's usually what kind of happens. Playing 4 at the back against Coventry, I wouldn't mind, but I guess more in Sergei's mind, he's going to be thinking, well, these lot are great on the attack. That's where they just have more quality and more depth, I guess. So, yeah, I'm thinking Sergei's going to go with a 5 at the back. I'm probably going to be wrong, but that's just what I think he's going to do. And of course, starting in goal with what he said about both goalkeepers, Ivo Pandor and Dylan Phillips, he said that Ivo Pandor is the number 1 keeper, which is why I think Ivo Pandor's going to start. I've seen people, obviously, in the aftermath of the Oxford game saying that, Dylan Phillips should start the next game due to his performance against Oxford. His performance was good against Oxford, but he's only played 4 matches this season. And really, to me, I just think Pandor's more reliable. I know his distribution is not great. I know Phillips' distribution was good against Oxford. He was just releasing the ball as soon as possible. But you have to look at Phillips' distribution in some other matches. It hasn't been great. And I just think that if Phillips does start, and let's say there's a goal he concedes where he really should have saved it, there's then people that are going to throw a lot of criticism on him saying that, why did we start him in the first place? We should have started Pandor. But yeah, anyway, I think Ivo Pandor will start. With the formation, I'm thinking a 3-4-2-1, basically. I mean, it's basically a 5 at the back. I know it's like a 3, but we've got wing backs, alright? And speaking of wing backs, we're going to start off with the right wing back in the team, and I do believe that will be none other than Cody Drame. Most obvious choice to have. He's been brilliant ever since he came back from his injury, and I guess his sort of spell away from the team almost. Not that it was really his fault, he just wasn't really getting picked for games. With him being in the wing back, he just gives something on the attack, he really does, and yeah, he will still need to track back, of course, when Coventry may go on the counter-attack or try to get forward, but I have all full trust in Cody to do that. I think it's just that thing where we can have an extra man forward to try and deliver balls into the box or have someone else forward for Hull that could potentially create an opportunity. The defenders. Well, first one, I think will be pretty obvious, is Semi Ajayi, I think, with him getting the assist, of course, against Oxford, as well as just being rather solid in that last match. He's going to start, let's be real. I just hope he's on his A game and he's not going to make any silly mistakes. I hope he's going to have, I guess, the same decent passing he did against Oxford, because I know on the ball, he's not always great. He's quite slow sometimes. But listen, he's a solid defender overall. I'm just hoping his defensive awareness with marking and runners going into the box, he's going to be aware of those players and prevent them from trying to score. The second centre-half, I believe, will be John Egan. Now, he didn't start against Oxford. He came on in the second half to replace Charlie Hughes. I just think Egan, for this type of match, with the experience and everything that he has, he's just going to be so reliable for this game. I think the main reason why he probably didn't start against Oxford was due to the fact that he was playing for Ireland during the week as well. He did start the game. I don't know if he'd play the full 90 minutes. I'm not entirely sure, but he definitely was playing a good majority of that match. Again, he's just a solid defender. Not as good on the ball as Charlie Hughes, for instance, but again, just as solid as Semi Ajayi. And yeah, just a reliable defender to have in your squad against the league leaders. And then the final centre-back, I think it's only got to be one person. Charlie Hughes. I know that he's not been great recently. Like, a lot of people are criticising him for his performance against Oxford, saying that he should be dropped for this game. Listen, Charlie Hughes has been one of the best players this season. You cannot have him out of such a big match where really the odds are kind of against us. I said this before in the previous video, is that some of the best players of the season are going to have that slight dip in form where they don't exactly play well, but it's all just about having that one performance that will redeem them and get their confidence back. And I think for this game, I think Hughes will redeem himself and definitely put on a better performance compared to what he did in the last match and the one against West Brom. I'm still supporting Charlie Hughes, don't worry. And then left wing back's a bit of an interesting one really, because I've sort of dabbled in, would I rather have Louis Coyle or Paddy McNair? And here's the thing, I wouldn't mind Paddy McNair being at left wing back, but I think he's better on the bench to replace one of the centre halves if we need to. So with that being said, I do believe it's going to be Louis Coyle playing as left wing back. He's just an absolute unit. He can play through anything. Again, he's someone that can give something going forward, but I think he is a better defensive player. If he can just defend against the likes of Mason Clark or Haji Wright, whoever's going to be down that right-hand side for Coventry, I think he should be right defensively. Just needs to make sure he's solid more than anything else. My two central midfielders. Well, this is going to be a bit interesting considering that the midfield didn't have a great performance against Oxford. I believe the first midfielder will be Tree. He's just someone that does create something on the attack for Hull, as I've said before. The second central midfielder, I don't think it's going to be John Lundstrom. I just think for me, again, as many of you said before, he's just a bit like Tree's, a bit slow. And I think that's the issue with the midfield. It was very slow against Oxford. We need a bit of pace in that midfield. Who'd you put in there? You put Amir Hatzimetovic, because it's all paid off. Amir is a more faster player, gives something onto the attack, but can also track back, defend well. I think with Regan Slater out for the rest of this season, we need someone to kind of replace him in the sense that he's going to be good both attacking and defending, having a similar pace, similar abilities, and I think Amir Hatzimetovic has those. And I just believe in him, to be honest. I think Amir is one of the most reliable central midfielders we have right now in this squad. So him and Tree in the partnership of the central midfield, I trust more than anything. I really do. Dowell has just not been performing great. Lundstrom has said before, he's just as slow as Tree and probably just lacks that bit of quality compared to Tree and Amir. Collier is just one that's not getting much game time because he's just not quite fully fit just yet. He is getting minutes, but you can't really start him. That's the only issue. Then for like the forward three is, I don't know if you want to put them as like cams, central forwards or wingers. I don't know. But anyway, starting off at the right hand side, I have gone with Joe Gelhardt. Joffrey didn't exactly have a great game against Oxford, but I think for this game, you can try and bring something. I think as long as like you've got Drame, who's going to be running down the wing, trying to offer some sort of support on the attack. I think Gelhardt's going to be someone where he will kind of move sort of wide towards the right-hand side a bit, but then will kind of make the runs central, try and dribble past a couple of players, just try and create some sort of opportunity. The left attacking midfielder, winger, or central forward, it's kind of a hard one to pick because there are actually different options you could put in this position. I, however, believe that Sergei's going to go with Liam Miller. I'm kind of drawn between him and Kumas. I don't think Joseph's going to start based on, I guess, his performance with Oxford. Kumas could be someone that's really suited to that role. He's good to make central runs in behind the defence. But for some reason, I just think Liam Miller will start this match and he'll start in that sort of left-hand position. Some may think he's maybe going to start left wing back, and while I do kind of trust that in the sense of going on the attack, defending wise, it's not going to be as great because let's be real, Liam Miller's not a defender, he's a winger. But I don't know, I think he really will cause problems for the likes of Van Uwick or maybe, I don't know, Bobby Thomas or someone in the defence and maybe even the midfield, where he's just going to cause problems by dribbling with the ball, cutting in, cutting out, maybe laying off a pass to Coyle, for instance, down the left-hand side, or playing it central to maybe someone like Tree, Amir, McBurney, Gelhardt, I don't know, one of them players. I just sort of trust Miller in this type of game. And the worst comes to it, he may come off in the 60th minute and we end up putting on Lewis Kumas. I haven't put Balumi to start this match only because I think for this type of game, it's very worrying that if he does start, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets injured. It's going to be like a quite high tempo, high paced match. It's just something where he's better coming on as an impactful sub where he can either replace, I don't know, Joffrey or someone, depending on if we change our formation or not. I don't know. And up front, at no surprise, I do believe it's going to be Ollie McBurney. I know Sergei was a bit annoyed that Ollie's not getting as much help or support on the attack, especially from, well, the Oxford match. He's on a bit of a goal drought at the minute, which is it's a bit annoying because he's just a cracking striker that we think should be scoring. He's going to get his goal, and if there's a time to get his goal, it's in this vital, crucial, and important, tough match against the league leaders. I believe in you, McBurney. You're the Superman. So yeah, there you go. That is my predicted lineup. A 3-4-2-1. Ivo Panda in goal. Cody Drameh on the right wing back. The three centre halves are Semi Ajayi, John Egan and Charlie Hughes with the left wing back as Louis Coyle. The two central midfielders are Tree and Amir Hatzimetovic. I've got as the right kind of winger slash forward Joffy, the left winger slash forward as Liam Miller, and then up front Ollie McBurney. In terms of the score prediction, well, here's the thing. Even before the international break happened, even before the Sheffield Wednesday game happened, I had just a bit of confidence we could get something from this match. I know Cov are on great form. As I said before, in the last 10 matches, they've won 8 games. Their only recent loss being against Southampton, where they lost 2-1. I think we kind of pose something similar to Southampton in terms of we can really put a challenge onto Cov. I mean, they only did just beat Derby in all fairness, and we're above Derby, but again, it just depends if we're going to be typical City or not. The last game, it didn't have any goals, ended in a goalless draw. This game, I do believe, will have goals. It's just one of them where it doesn't look very convincing to us that we are going to win, but through my confidence, I don't think we're going to lose this match. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I can actually see us putting in a good shift, a good performance. I think there'll just be a few times where Coventry really show how good of a team they are, how much quality they have in their squad. Obviously, they're going to put the pressure on us. But I do wonder if Coventry may underestimate us a bit, because there have been games where, whether we've had a good performance or not, whether it's been good on the attack or good defensively, where we've managed to pull off some points against the likes of Middlesbrough, for instance, or Millwall, or Southampton, for instance, or Wrexham. It's just one of them where I can see it being a close game, and I just think that maybe we won't do enough to win, but I think we can get something from this match. I just believe we will, and I think a draw we should happily take. We should happily take against Coventry. It's a hard game. We know it is. It's going to be such a big relief to kind of get it out the way and have at least earned a point. Because by then, there's 5 games remaining. You've still got Southampton and Wrexham that are playing against each other. And depending on how that game goes, the last 5 games, we could be in a rather decent position to keep our spot in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm confident we can get a draw, and I believe it will be 1-1 as the final score. And I think people wouldn't mind that, to be honest. Let me know your score predictions, who you think will start this game. It's quite hard since we do have options. It just depends on, I guess, fitness and, well, who's going to be more reliable in this match. Make sure to check out the socials, which will be in the link in the description. Check out the previous videos if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and all the Tigers!